If you're like most retirees, you've been told a Roth changeover is a no-brainer. But for a lot of people over 55, that smart tax relocation can quietly drain hundreds of $1,000 from your retirement. In the next 15 minutes, I'll display you precisely when a Roth transition makes no sense, so you don't pay a big tax bill today for nada in return. Without question, here's the promise you keep hearing. Honestly, move your pre-tax IRA into a Roth, pay the tax now at a low charge per unit, and enjoy tax-free money forever. Sounds great, right? But the truth is that promise only works in very specific situations. Now here's where it gets good. For a lot of middle-of-the-road retirees in America, Roth conversions provide little or no tax benefit and sometimes make things worse. Let's get our footing. A Roth IRA is an account where you pay income tax on the money loss in, and qualified withdrawals are tax-free ulterior. When you relocation money from a pre-tax account, ilk a traditional IRA or old 401k, into a WTH and pay ordinary income tax on that sum in the year you change over, a Roth conversion is. Let me put it this way. There's no yearbook limit on conversion. Besides, you can convert $10,000 or $1 million in a single year if you lack, but every dollar exhibits up as taxable income. That extra income can thrust you into a higher tax angle bracket, increase the portion of sociable protection that's non-exempt, trigger Medicare IRMAA surcharges, those are extra premium for portion B and D based on your income to old age earlier, reduce sure deductions or credits you were counting on. When you conceive you're only paying 12 or 22%, in a minute I'm going to show you why a simple filling up the bracket Roth plan can secretly turn into a 30 to 40% effective tax rate even. Here's the bottom line. First clip, a Roth transition much makes no sense. When you're in a high tax angle bracket today, and very likely to be in a get-down bracket in retirement. Truth is, many retirees with modest savings naturally spill into lower brackets once they stop workings. Research and actual income statistics display that a typical middle-income household in retirement power live on about $50,000 to $65,000 a 12-month, much landing in the 0%, 10%, or 12% federal brackets. The thing is, if that's you, converting a bunch of money in your last high-earning age could mean paying 22 or 24% now to avoid 10 to 12% later. That math simply doesn't work. Imagine Madonna, age 60, hush workings. Her salary already puts her at the top of the 22% bracket. Her advisor says, well, let's convert $50,000 to a WTH. Fill that 22% bracket while you can. And Mary pays close to $11,000 in supernumerary federal tax. But 2 L's later, she retires and lives comfortably on $40,000 from Social Security and a small pension off. Truth is, in retirement, her IRA withdrawals are assessed mostly at 10% and 12%. She paid 22% now to avoid maybe 10 to 12% ulterior. That's not a win. That's just prepaying the IRS for no reason. If you spent your life as a small earner and your savings are solid but not huge, you're not behind, you may actually be in a fantastic position to skip big conversions and enjoy naturally low retirement tax rates. So what does this mean? Adjacent retirees with under about $1 to $2 or $1,000 in pre-tax accounts. A lot of the transition hype comes from package models showing huge tax savings, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. But when planners shorten the life expectancy or trim chronicle balances to more realistic levels, those supposed benefit can prostration to almost nada. The truth is, real lifestyle example. Now, here's where it gets good. Truth is, one planner ran 3 scenarios with the same couple, age mid-60s, 1 child, nothing fancy, nothing. To be honest, with $5 million in pre-tax money, the software said, convert aggressively into the 32% bracket. Often you could save over $1.2 million in lifetime taxes. With $3 million, recommended conversions dropped sharply. Frankly, additionally, the welfare shrank to maybe a fraction of that. With $1 million, the same package essentially said convert a tiny amount maybe to the 10% angle bracket, and the projected welfare was nearly zero. The lesson below a sure wealth level big Roth conversions oftentimes do, essentially, not add much value peculiarly if your lifestyle outlay is modest. I'll spring you a simple checklist later in this video. If you're under about $2 million in pre-tax saving, you'll see exactly why in many cases doing nada beats chasing a home Roth plan. Third, a Roth transition often makes no sense if you don't have outside hard cash to pay the tax account. When you convert, you owe tax on the sum you move. If you have to withhold that tax from the IRA itself, you're shrinking the very nest egg you're trying to grow. Advisors who specialize in this area consistently warn that using IRA dollars to pay conversion tax can erase a big chunk of the long-term benefit. And if you're under 59.5, it can trigger penalties. Say you convert $40,000 and withhold $10,000 for federal and state taxes from the IRA. You only get $30,000 into the Roth. Without question, compare that to give the tax from a nest egg chronicle. You'd get the full $40,000 into the Roth working tax-free for the rest of your living. If you don't have the hard currency, it may be better to hold off rather than weaken your retirement income engine. Generally, this next one is where many rule of thumb Roth strategies fall apart. Generally, a conversion can raise your true tax cost way above the bracket you think you're paying. Key traps. Clearly, 1. Medicare IRMAA surcharges. Medicare looks at your modified adjusted gross income from 2 years earlier to decide whether you pay spear carrier surcharges on Parts B and D. In 2026, hitting certain income tiers can add roughly $1,100 to almost $7,000 per person per 12-month in extra premiums. Roth conversion count toward that income. Go even $1 over a threshold, and you can owe the full surcharge for the entire 12-month. These are cliffs, not gentle slopes. 2. Social Security tax torpedo. Up to 85% of your Social Security can become taxable as your other income rises. A Roth changeover can push more of your benefit into that taxable zone, meaning your effective tax rate on the changeover dollars can be far higher than the angle bracket chart suggests. Tiers, capital gains, and deductions. Higher income from conversions can eliminate 0% long-term working capital gains opportunities you power otherwise use. Cut down or phase out deductions and credits, including sure new senior-focused deductions that phase out in ranges like $150,000 to $350,000 of income under current law. Obviously, so you might consider you're filling the 12% or 22% bracket, but by the clip you stack on IRMAA, extra social protection taxation, plus lost 0% capital gains, the true cost can look more like 30 to 40%. Sometimes nobody likes surprise bills, especially not in retirement. The goal here isn't to scare you. It's to protect the life you've built from invisible taxes that do not display up on the postcard-sized chart in the brochure. Frankly, another time a Roth conversion might not help is when you're not likely to live long enough to enjoy, the payoff, or when funding the transition forces you to cut too deeply into your lifestyle in the go years. Roth conversions are a long-term play. The benefits come from tax-free growth over many years. Basically, if health issues, household history, what's more, simpleton preference suggest a shorter planning horizon, the window for that benefit shrinks dramatically. Studies and advisor casework display that when planners abbreviate the retirement skyline by just 5 years, basically, project tax nest egg from changeover can collapse from six-figure benefit down to almost aught. There's as well quality of life. Some retirees are encouraged to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on changeover taxes in their 60s. Usually that can mean cutting back on travel, helping family, or home projects during the best wellness old age. What's more, if the tax welfare is marginal, trading a trip with your grandkids for a slightly prettier tax projection 30 years from now may not be a good deal. You also want to think beyond yourself. Surprisingly, if you plan to leave your IRA to heir who will be in let-down tax bracket than you, big conversions can again backfire. Importantly, under stream rules, many non-spouse heirs must empty inherited IAS within 10 old age of inheriting. But if your kids or grandkids have modest incomes, their withdrawals might be taxed at relatively low rates. Converting at your higher rate now just so they can relish tax-free Roth withdrawal later may not be worth it. If you do not change over and let them take the money out gradually in their own lower brackets, in some cases it can be cheaper for the home overall. In just a moment, I'll give you a simple checklist you can screenshot that shows when a Roth conversion much makes no sense, and the few cases where it still might be worth exploring. Here's the quick checklist. A big Roth conversion often make no signified if, really most of these are true up for you. Certainly your total pre-tax economy are under roughly $1 to $2 million, and your annual retirement spending is modest. You expect to be in similar or let-down tax brackets in retirement than you're today. You can't pay the tax conversion from a separate cash account. You're age 63 or older near Medicare, and any large transition would thrust you over IRMAA thresholds. You rely heavily on Social Security and a pension, and conversions would just make more of that income non-exempt. Your health or house history advise a shorter planning horizon, or funding conversions would force you to significantly cut the lifestyle you care about now. Your heirs are likely to be in let-down tax bracket than you're. If you're nodding yes to most of these, the odds are goodness that aggressive conversions don't fit your life, even if a calculator once flashed a huge tax savings number on the screen. Here's the big idea. Usually a Roth conversion is a tool, not a trophy. The goal isn't to die with the perfect tax program. The end is to live a retirement you're proud of, one where taxes are manageable and surprises are rare. On top of that, if you'd ilk me to walk through whether a Roth conversion fits your situation, tell me in the comments. Importantly, Uncle John, should I change over? In future videos, we'll look at when Roth conversions do make sense and how to size them without tripping those hidden tax and Medicare trap. While they can, hit subscribe so you do not miss those breakdowns and share this with a friend who's feeling pressured to convert. I'm Uncle John from Uncle Toilet Financial. The thing is, I'll see you in the next